So many Telemons have delivered us their travelers. So many have fought us. So many have resisted. Those who saw the light, who shed their old bodies, they are happy now. They have hope. They too will live. They too might survive. And there wasn't anything different with regards to what was available, weapons-wise. That whole fight, I only got this much glass, and there isn't any, aren't any Sentinel boundary maps. Oh well. That was a bad idea. So I'm 504 light years away. Here we go. Suppose it's because I had to pick a relatively close system. Actually, no, I just decided to hop through them. But here. Yeah, this should cut down on things by an extra 1,000. I'll see how my... I don't know, I can always get more maps to ancient sites from the cartographer at a space station. And it might be, I don't know, it might be necessary here to do that. Ooh. Yeah, sure, dump me right in the middle of an asteroid field. I have to cut my way out. So what I'm gonna do is I'll use my remaining maps. I think I've got like 2 of them left. If both of them if neither of them, I should say, send me to a say with a place with an ancient relic in it, then I'll have to do face and walk the old way by going through all 5 levels of Sentinel. But even that isn't anything I haven't done before. You remember that one anomaly mission, right? Hack a Sentinel pillar? There were 6 waves. So let's see. What about this one? Yeah, it's a nice temperate planet with high Sentinel activity. Let me just cut my way out of this asteroid field. And if anything unusual happens, I'll show it. Otherwise, since you've already seen me fight, if it's a Sentinel fight starting from the lowest level, I'll show that. Otherwise, I'll meet you at the Sentinel pillar. You could be whole again, Telemon. You could be free. We will reconstruct the crater. All travelers might be one again. The first, the last. We will do what the Atlas cannot or will not. In the form of null, the Abyss declares a means of escape. Back off a second. Null? I remember a null. I mean, as part of the main storyline, One of the people we meet is called Null. But I don't know, Null seemed like just another one. Null introduced themselves as the first traveler. That, as far as I know, is the start and end of his of their identity. But is there more to them than that? I don't know. For now, maybe there's somebody over there willing to buy my artifact. So I'm gonna go chat with them for a bit if I can find them. Either way. Oh, really? Okay, forget I said anything then. That was rude. So in that case, well, before I go through the black hole or look for the next black hole, let me see if I got any sentinel maps here. I know I got some shattered glass, 7 units of it. Still nothing. Okay. So I have, you know, I got two more maps to alien artifacts. They seem to be holding up. And yeah, there's a black hole. We're just gonna hop right on through there. Can't spot it from here though. And then I'll look for another planet to use a map on it. I might as well just stop over at a space station to unload some of these historical artifacts first. But either way, I will meet you. Oh, there's the black hole. You kind of forget how tiny those things actually are. Anyway, regardless of what happens, I'll meet you on the planet. Either reading the next page of Sentinel lore, or fighting Sentinels from the first level. Won't you join us? Won't you sing? Won't you scream? There will be no second death, not for us who are already dead. The abyss, it smiles upon you. Don't blow me down. Yeah, if I remember correctly, that is the last, what do you call it? The last bit of Sentinel Pillar lore. I guess I didn't have to engage them from the first after all. So, at this point, well, I'll see what I got from the glass anyway. Then I'll bring my freighter here and see if I can't offload some what I got, and then I'll use it to find the next black hole. But I suppose after that, I can just keep on going from one black hole to the next until eventually I find myself nearby, not at the core, but near it. And I'm right next to the core. Well, I don't know what it's going to be like right next to the core, even close to it. I mean, there are quite a few players who have likely made it to the core themselves. So it's possible that the closer I get, the more systems I'm going to run into that have been discovered by other people. However, considering how big planets are in general, not just in this game, but in real life, I think the size of planets in this game is at least on par, if not the same, than with the size of planets in real life. So scale-wise, it shouldn't make that much of a difference. I should be able to put a base down right with everybody else. And then we go to the core. So, I guess I'm going to handle this. I'm going to keep going to the core. And if anything interesting, if I run into anything interesting on my way there, then I'll show it. I'll see, hey look, here's something interesting. From time to time, I'll stop and I'll try to I'll try to offload some of the stuff I couldn't. Maybe that's why I'll still keep using the freighter for a bit. But might as well put this down here. But I think the majority of the trip from here to the core isn't something you're going to see, because it'll be repetitive. You've seen jumps through black holes before with both my ship and with the freighter. And look at this. We are just under 500,000 light years away. These things, they sneak up on you. You think, well, gee, that's a long time in the future. It's not like it's going to happen tomorrow. And then it does. Because it is tomorrow. That was dark of me. Oh, well, I guess it doesn't really matter whether or not I warp to a system with pirates in it now anyway. I'll just hop through the black hole and be done with it. It's just out of my jump range. Am I never going to be able to... here we go. No, not there. There. Alright. I'll see you later. What do we have here? Mission complete, it seems. What'd you guys do? Destroyed pirates. Sold in-demand goods, 244% markup. Found cave system with high gold content. I got gold, still got to offload. Bought out entire enterprise, sold assets for immediate profits. Okay, this has been a really unusual recording session. It crashed at some point, and I guess I decided to pick up where I left off. There should be a new expedition, shouldn't there? Maybe it's this one. Never mind, these guys will just have to hang 10 for a bit. But it crashed, and now it's been long enough so that the expedition I sent out at the beginning of the session has come back. That's why I was debriefing them. But I guess I'll have to wait until tomorrow in real life in order to... at last. In order to send my ships out on any more missions. Well, I thought this might happen. We are just under 400,000 light years in, and I've run into a system that someone else has discovered. I believe their name is BB Rodriguez. Appreciate the Futurama reference, by the way. It doesn't look as though they've scanned any planets in the system. I'm guessing they were like me, on their way to the core. But... well, I imagine I'll run into more systems that will that someone else has discovered already. The closer I get to the core, the less planets there are. It's a bit like on a record, close enough to the label. I mean, the further out on a record you go, the greater the greater the circumference. Like, the circumference of the label of a record is small compared to the circumference of the outside of a record, especially if it's a 33 and a third record. And so there are more points on that. There's more room on the outside to put the outside of the galaxy to put star systems. In the inside, there's less room, so there are going to be less star systems. But it seems that old BB Rodriguez's system was a bit of a one-off thing, at least for now. I don't know when I'm going to run into the next system discovered by somebody else. But when that happens, or if anything else notable happens, I'll let you know. And here we are again. We have crossed the path of... oh, I only wish I could pronounce this guy's name. Unfortunately, I don't know Russian. Otherwise, I'd be able to give them a proper shout out. But we have once again crossed another present path. I'll have to make sure I show that. All the same. We're about, I want to say 275 or so thousand light years away from the core. And so it's been longer since I crossed another person's path, but still. I think it was a trade mission. Okay, so salvage valuable parts, collected valuable metal dust, 265% markup, got some bounties, it looks like, surplus of recycled organic matter, 92% profit, struck a hard bargain, and you're back. Yeah, well, the missions still haven't reset, but I figured that since I had to refuel my ship anyway, I'd bring my freighter here and, oh, of course I'd do this, and check up on things there, see if I could offload stuff, which I could, and do the next warp jump using my freighter. And as you can see, we're a little under halfway of the distance, half the distance that needs to be covered. Alright. Why can't I? There must be some sort of big gap that doesn't have any. Oh, I don't want to leave my fleet in a pirate system. Alright, well this distance, while it's jumpable using my regular ship, I might as well bring my freighter through there anyway. I was hoping I'd be able to get further. Still, this is part of why I'm conducting these jumps using using the graded tractor instead of the John Teeter. Alright. Yeah, just remember, I'm not leaving the ship behind, the teeter behind. I'm just... I can summon it wherever I please. I'm just taking a more practical route here. So if I run into anything else, like another person's star system, I'll show it and I'll let you know. Assuming hopefully I'll be able to read their name. Ah, another system discovered by somebody else. This guy's name's Pastbat. And it looks as though they have not scanned any of the... Wait, nope. They scanned this one. I wonder what Pastbat was up to here. Well, either way, I want to say 125,000 light years away from the core, but don't quote me on it. Incidentally, all these systems are ones with black holes in them, because as many systems as there are in the galaxy, there are much fewer that have black holes. Of course, that's not counting those random encounters where you just happen to run into a black hole. But still. And another system discovered by Sergeant Pembry 9764. I wonder if that means anything. We are 96,000 or so light years from the galactic core, and I figured we'd be running into more of these systems that have been discovered by others. I wonder if I'm gonna run into one like that when I come out of a black hole. It's not exactly likely, but it could still happen, couldn't it? Yeah, here's another system discovered by Sergeant Pembry 9764. Kind of think of it, I forgot to check whether or not they scanned any of the planets in these systems, or whether they just passed through them like I did. I was only curious. Wait a second. There doesn't seem to be a black hole here. Remember how I was saying that that eventually I'll run into a planet discovered by somebody else when I come out of a black hole. Oh, cripes. Well, that just happened. And you know what? I might, since my hyperdrive is out of fuel, I'll do what I've been doing and bring my freighter into the system. And I'll see if I can offload anything. Although I was able to offload a few artifacts that I haven't been able to sell. But aside from that, I think this might be the last time that I bring my freighter forward. I don't think I should bring it to the galactic core or near there, because there'll probably be a ton of other people there, and it's a little much to bring an entire freighter fleet in. So anyway, if anything else, why does nobody hunt these flesh ropes? I went through so much to get them. Some people just don't appreciate how you... Anyway, if anything else happens, I'll show it. Like if I run into I run into a star system discovered by somebody else, which I probably will. Other than that, I suppose I'll see you when I see you. Well, hello, gentle Raven. My name is Markotron, and I am in. And I have just landed in your system after going through a black hole. Yeah, I figured this was going to happen, and it doesn't look as though gentle Raven scanned the planets well. Let's see. So yeah, 34,000 light years away. And counting. So we can find... This is a hard part about this, really. Looking for a system that I can reach. Yeah, so many of them look closer than they are. This was 1,489... Yeah, I can't get to it, but it's between a couple of planets that are only 1,300 and something. So exactly how far back do I have to go in order to... Alright. This one's got a black hole. Biggie Y2K12, or arguably Biggie 2012. I've run into their system on the way to the core. And we are pretty darn close, aren't we? I'd say somewhere in the mid... Actually, I forget it. It's probably the high 20,000s in terms of how close we are. Well, it's been an interesting road trip, hasn't it? I mean, it's not like there was a bee in the car, or in the ship, or I had a flat tire and I had to pull over, or I ran out of gas and had to walk to the next gas station, or I had to hop up and down on the ship's chassis because its starter spring was stuck, or got stuck behind a truck full of chickens, or had any of the other things that happened in Ollie Hop Noodle's Haven of Bliss happen to me. And Lil Mama Slim. I just ran into their system from coming out of a black hole. And we are 18,008 light years away. Let me see, I got this system here, it's 1,271. Now eventually I'm going to get into, I'm going to get to such a position where one of two things could happen. Either one, I'll run into a system that is less than 1,400 light years away from the core, meaning that I can jump from it to the core. Or, but before I do that, I forget exactly when this starts to happen, but eventually black holes start passing the core by. Hello, Eresa? Eresa? I hope I'm not mangling that too badly. Anyways, yeah, it's possible that a jump from a black hole might pass over the core entirely. I mean, it makes sense if you consider a jump through a black hole to be Oh, there we go. To be 6,000 light years. And um, you go through a black hole from 3,000 light years away, it'll put you down on the other side of the black hole 3,000 light years away. Now when there's a danger of that happening, here's what I might consider doing. I'll bring my freighter there, and then I won't bother looking for black holes anymore. I'll just start hard hopping there, like directly there. Ah, another Ares system. I am so sorry if I'm mangling how their name's pronounced. Shall we have ourselves a nice little New Year's Eve countdown here? 10,000 light years. 9,000 light years. 8,000 light years. Still not going to be kissing anybody when I get hit to 0, though, am I? Come on. Honestly, what a dense cluster of stars that is. Okay. I think this black hole might be our last. It'll, if it's not our very last, it'll be. Actually, no, probably won't be our very last. It'll be our last, like 2 or so. 170263. I'm in their system. I wonder if any of these people decide to name. Oops. Yeah, that gets kind of annoying after a while. I've had to do that a couple of times. Anyway, I wonder if any of these people decide to name their systems. Like, customize the name instead of just keeping the one that that it came with. I myself have only ever done that once when I named it Marxon. Here, well, that'll depend on whether or not I run to a brand new system. But I might consider doing that if I do run into a brand new system. And another system by 170263. That was a... Ah, and here we are. Look at how close we are. The core is literally right there. And there doesn't seem to be a star system anywhere near it. This has me kind of concerned. I mean, are there any stars where, that are that close? I may have to check up on this. But it looks like there's a big gap. Well, I'm gonna hang here. Although, yeah, you know, somehow I doubt that taco is the name of a system that, um, that was originally generated. I'm pretty sure whoever discovered taco named it taco. And the fact that it is named taco, maybe that means something. Like that this is a system that is as close to the galactic core as I can get. Yeah, the taco system was discovered by Space Taco. And look at all these custom named planets here. Except this one, interesting. Yeah, this system doesn't have a black hole in it anywhere. But if I were to check the galaxy map now and focus on the center, I'm only about 3,000 light years away. And yet, there is like nothing there. How is anybody expected to get to the core if they can't actually get to the core? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go to the station here and save off for a bit. And then I suppose in the in-between time, I will find out exactly how I'm supposed to cross that space. But until then,